Hi everyone, I'm Hermione, your host, and welcome to the second episode of A Little Bit of This, A Little Bit of That, a series where I aim to invite one special guest per episode to try out good, underrated restaurants and food spots while asking them all sorts of questions. Joining me this episode is Alex, my former classmate, rumored arch-nemesis, rival, among other things, and fellow gap year student, who will answer questions pertaining to his reasons for taking a gap year, his experience having been in 2 grades, our supposed arch-nemesis relationship, and lastly, his hot takes on certain topics and philosophy to life. For those of you looking to take a gap year or have similar experiences, Alex is a success story to look forward to. Today, we're eating at Yu Sun Choyu in Nova Mall, and we're having frog, which is an almost guaranteed trip to the bathroom. So come along and join me for some good food and even greater talk. Okay, I'm just gonna do like a little intro, okay?
Yeah, no problem.
Hey everyone, welcome to episode 2 of A Little Bit of This, A Little Bit of That. You guys definitely would not have expected my guest for this episode. Okay, introduce yourself. Who are you? What do you do?
I'm Alex. I still kind of coach kids sometimes, but yeah, I used to coach kids with football. I'm currently in between schools or education, I guess. That's what I'd say, yeah.
Lovely.
It's quite nice.
Do you eat a lot of Oriental food?
Yes and no, I guess. Yeah, I eat a lot of like Chinese food, but like how deep I go into that, I don't know.
Right, so it's kind of like touching the surface.
Yeah,
dim sum kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I feel like unless you speak the language, you kind of hit a barrier.
That's
like,
true.
Culinary
to how
wise.
local you can go.
Yeah, no, definitely. Especially how local you can go.
Do you prefer to eat Western food over any sorts of food, or?
I'd say probably like a mix, I guess. I don't know, because Asian encompasses
a lot
of cuisines.
Yeah.
I guess a bit of both. Like, I guess that's one of the things I'd say I'm grateful for, like growing up in China, but as a Westerner, you kind of get introduced to both worlds.
I like that. That's a very insightful answer. Much more insightful than Kaji. So, how do we know each other?
We went to school together. That's how we know each other.
Yeah.
I wouldn't sugar. Our relationship during school was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. It was awful.
We got voted like least likely duo.
Yeah. Never
in a million years, definitely. But honestly, I would say like at a point, it kind of just got away from us. Like, I had no problem.
Oh, sure.
And it just was like, Alex and Hermione dislike each other. It's like, okay, that's the status quo.
Yeah.
So I think and then you just kind of get out of high school and you realize like, it's all just stupid.
It's stupid. It's all labeled. So.
Yeah, and no one really cares. So.
Yeah, no. You're such a cool guy, actually.
Yeah, definitely. Likewise.
I feel like chatting to you during our last year. I really, really liked, how you voiced your thoughts in class, and then I really, really respected your viewpoints and all that. I thought you were
likewise,
such
actually,
articulate person.
No, I was gonna say the same thing. Articulate, yeah. I think we probably, in certain aspects, we bore a lot of similarities.
Right, I'd say so too.
And maybe some things we dislike about each other is because like we saw ourselves in one another.
I'd say so too.
There were some things I'll be like, she and I actually aren't that
I was thinking about too.
I would say you were very articulate, very.
Thank you.
Yeah, you had good points.
Likewise. Okay, so a little bit about yourself. What were you like in high school? Just as much as you recall.
And it depends on who you ask.
Right.
Loud. Talkative, I'd say it's chatty. It depends, like last year high school or high school?
Let's say senior high?
Yeah, senior. I would say mean or like standoffish at times, unapproachable at times. I think that's.
Oh,
I think that's.
So. You seemed a bit aloof sometimes.
Yeah, that's not always the best quality, but I think I thought I knew a lot more than I did.
No, it's me too.
Yeah. And I think, like in 5 years, I'll look back at this and think, wow, that guy knew nothing. So,
man, I thought it was so smart.
Yeah, no, exactly. I thought I knew about everything, you know, but that's just what happens, I guess. I was active.
Right. Oh my god, I remember back when we weren't even running against each other directly for that position in student council, but then we were in the same classes and then Mr. liked to pit us against each other so much. He was like, you guys should debate on this and that.
The thing is like, I didn't even realize there was a problem for the first year. Like, seriously, I didn't even...
Right.
Someone told me, like, they don't like you.
I'm so sorry.
I was like, what? Because for me, it was just like, the election was the election. And after that, I was like, they're cool. They're cool people. And, you know, I hope, like, what we did at the time was fun and jokes. And now it's, like, all done. And so for the full year, I was just like and it was better kind of when I didn't know. Because, like, once I found out, I was like,
oh god, I'm sorry.
No, you're not really sorry.
No. You're so much more mature than I am. Like,
no.
I'm serious.
No, there were times I was very petty as well. But there were times where like I would want it to be you again, because I felt like in the humanities you were probably the one that could probably challenge me the most, like verbally, in terms of like having an argument. So there were times like I can see definitely the merit in him wanting to pit us against one another, and we never really did like after we were kind of
then our classes split,
different history classes and geography.
Well, thank you for that. That was so nice of you.
Sorry.
To be recognized by the great Alex Shaw. Oh man, at times I've really resented you because you were like nailing all these classes, right? You were excelling. Humanities, like you said, you were so good at that. It was every class, all the teachers talked about you. Like, Alex had this great point, and I was like, what great point? But it was actually a really good point, even if I wouldn't admit it. You know, like hearing you speak in class, seriously.
It's the same. Like teachers would come to me and say, "Oh, Hermione said this." Just like, "Oh, you know, Hermione would benefit so well from being in our history class as well and stuff."
Can you recall any memorable experiences you've had together?
I mean, we had the election, I guess.
Right, that was something.
And then we had the thing at the end.
Right, yeah.
That was cool,
that was cool.
To be honest, most of the time in high school, like, we didn't really interact.
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
You know, we didn't have any direct interactions. Yeah, so.
I kind of regret that. I feel like I would have learned
more. No, yeah, I think so. I think it would have been nicer, but oh well, you live in it.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Yeah, exactly.
Here we are, having a meal.
Yeah.
It tastes a bit like chicken and looks
a bit
like chicken. Yeah. I'll tell you what, I used to really dislike my own culture because of how many weird, well, they weren't weird, they were just unorthodox dishes or meals we had. So frog, for example, like, you can't go out there and say, I eat frog, right? It's a bit weird.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh.
You try and hide, like, aspects that make you different. Yeah, you'll hide your culture, that's for sure, because there are weird aspects of it, or I think it's like something like everybody, like, once you start to get a bit older, you start to like actually become proud of it.
Yeah,
and
embrace it.
Yeah, and the weird things actually become things like you're proud of, I guess.
Yeah. Speaking of culture, do you mind talking a bit about your own cultural background?
Yeah. Half Scottish and half Iranian.
Okay.
So I've never been to Iran, so I don't sound Scottish. That's true.
So, sound quite American.
Yeah. I'm going to study in Scotland. My family's in Scotland.
Someone told me you were Serbian. I was like, Serbian. Interesting. Serbian.
I think sometimes they just lump everybody in the Middle East together. To be honest. I read a book about the divide between India and Pakistan. It's actually quite interesting. I think like even India itself, like, even though you join it as a big country, like previously they were all ruled by these like small fragmented tribes that were just lumped together by the British. Right. And I can't remember too much.
No, don't worry about it.
There was some conflict from like back in the 2000s. Pakistan was allowing Islamic extremists from I think like from Afghanistan into India or something. I don't know.
Right.
I might be completely wrong.
No, don't worry. Don't fact check him.
Yeah.
Cool, yeah. But this is sort of the stuff you'll be getting into.
Yeah.
We're going to talk a bit about your gap year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so first of all, why did you end up taking a gap year?
Yeah, I'd chosen the wrong course and the wrong uni as well, and I originally applied to law, and I wouldn't say I chose the wrong uni, but the two unis I got accepted to were not where I planned to go. I kind of accepted them as like safeties,
right? Okay.
And like not genuine safeties, just to fill out
right.
the UCAS form.
Yep.
So I got my grades. I was almost gonna go to uni actually. I was almost. There was one day at work. You know, I spoke to my friend and he was like, bro, just go to uni. And I was like, really? Maybe I will. And then so I was about to get on the phone because I had originally accepted an offer from Exeter, but it wasn't Exeter like their main campus. It was like a second campus like in Plymouth. So
I was gonna say Exeter is pretty
good.
No,
I would have gone to Exeter.
It was main.
Yeah,
main
but it was because I did law with business. So
right.
They were gonna send me to another campus like far off, and yeah, it wasn't where I wanted to spend my uni. So I was about to get on the phone and I was about to call Lancaster because they'd given me an offer for law with politics. I was like, listen, if you can give me that offer back, because I firmed Exeter and insurance was my Lancaster. But then when I get back, there was an email like Exeter was like, we can change you to our law program. And their law program is at the main campus. So I was like, you know what? Okay, great. So I sent him an email. I'd like to confirm my place, and I was like, yay, like, yippee. I went about my night, you know. I didn't call Lancaster or anything, and it's like 12 minutes past midnight. I saw the email and everything. 12 minutes past midnight, they're like, unfortunately, we can't secure your place. And the spot filled up, and they filled up really quick, and I was like, at that point, I was like, yeah, nah, screw this. Screw this. I'm done. I'm not playing this game. Right. I've already missed the day for clearing. Right. And yeah, I was just like, yeah.
I mean, it sounds like such a sudden change of plans.
Yeah, but I mean, like the whole time, like I knew, like the grades I got, I knew like they were good enough to go somewhere good. Right. So I was just like, listen, like I'm not gonna settle. I can wait a year. Maybe I was a bit like naive, like a year is not that long. And in truth, it has quite quick. Yeah. But at the beginning, I don't know about you, like the beginning.
Oh my god, it dragged on.
Dude, it's so.
Dude, I know that feeling completely.
Like September to November or December. Oh my gosh.
It dragged on so long.
Yeah,
like, when is this gonna end?
Everybody else was doing stuff, and oh man, I was just like, oh my. But once the year turned, everything just started to go quick, and here we are in May.
Here we are.
I think I could have gone, like, I'm not going to say, like, I couldn't have gone to uni. Of course I could have gone.
Absolutely.
You know, I've learned, like, a lot of different stuff than I would have at uni. Especially, like, taking a year off and, like, having to deal with, like, you know, everybody else doing stuff. That's not something I would have learned at uni because I would have been doing stuff myself. Yeah, I said I'm grateful. There's no point not being grateful. I can't change it. Yeah,
I go back in time and then.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching and supporting as always. This was a bit of a long episode, but Alex has some really great and insightful answers that I really couldn't cut out. Obviously, we had a bit of fun this segment. We joked around and cleared up the nature of the supposed animosity between us. But the real meat of the conversation, the real content, is in the upcoming episodes. Please keep watching if you want to hear Alex's feelings on his gap year, as well as his experiences during school, which will be included in the upcoming segments. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to support me on this low-budget venture. Thank you so much once again for your support, and see you soon!